Hi, I'm Alex, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a review of the new Kobo Elipsa. So, I've had this device about a month or so, and in this video I'm going to go through the key areas that I think are important and give you my opinion and my views. I'll leave timestamps around me now in case you want to skip to any specific section, but with that being said, let's get on with the review. What is the Kobo Elipsa? It's a 10.3 inch e-reader made by Kobo. Kobo are one of the leaders in the e-reader market space, and it's the first time not only that they've made a 10.3 inch e-reader, but importantly, it's also the first time they've made an e-reader that can work with a stylus. Hopefully, because of Kobo's history in making quality devices, it will give you some confidence in the brand and their commitment to this product in the future. The Kobo Elipsa has a 2400 mAh battery, which in practice means if you're going to read for a couple of hours a day with the backlight not set too high, this device might last you 2 to even 4 weeks. However, in my experience with heavy writing day in, day out, this really does drain the battery and might only last 2 or 3 days of solid writing use, which is a huge change. Now I'm hoping that this is something Kobo can improve with future software updates. With regard to the software updates, I've also found twice in the early stages of having this device that the battery was completely dead. Now I think that's because there were some overnight software updates and I haven't had that issue for the last couple of weeks. Looking online, I'm not the only person that's had battery issues with this device. However, they haven't had any issues for the past few weeks, so hopefully everything's now sorted with that. Now, not something I normally need to cover in terms of battery and these devices. This device uses the Microsoft Pen protocol, and what that means is that any pen you use with this device will need to be charged. Now, most of the pens in this space use a quadruple A battery, which is really small and will last a few to several months. I'm currently using the Wacom Bamboo e-ink Plus pen, which is charged by USB-C and doesn't last as long. But one thing to bear in mind is that you'll not only need to be conscious of the device's battery, but to a lesser extent, you'll also need to be conscious of the pen's battery too. With regards to the hardware element, I do like writing with this device. However, the pen that's included with it, this pen here, I've done a video on it and I think it's not good enough quality for the device. It rattles and it just doesn't make this an enjoyable experience to write with. However, there are numerous pens out there, including the Microsoft Surface Pen, that really give you the option to upgrade the writing experience and feel. In terms of the device itself, it feels quality. And one really nice thing about the device and the hardware is it gives you the option of having buttons, and you can press one to erase the content, you can press another to highlight, and that's really useful. It means you don't have to sort of get stuck into the different options and you can keep much more into your writing flow. So overall, I think the hardware is really good and you can dial it in with the right pen. However, I'm not the biggest fan of the pen that comes out the box. This is Kobo's first generation product that allows you to write on it, and I think it really shows. Now, it has lots of flexibility and capability, but at the same time, lots of limitations. So when you go into the notebook section, it gives you the option of 2 different types of notebooks. A basic notebook, which you flip over like a book, and then an advanced notebook that you scroll up and down. Now, having these 2 types of notebooks makes no sense to me. I'd really like it if Kobo could combine these and just give you one option and lots of flexibility in those options, like almost all of the competitors in this space. Now, most of my notes I write in the basic notebook function. Something that's missing though, that I'd really like to see in it, is the option to circle and highlight what you're writing and move it around. This is something that I think is really important in digital note taking, and whether it's in the advanced version or in the basic notebook, neither of those options are available. Another thing that isn't there in terms of the writing experience, I'm including this in the writing experience because it determines for me whether I'd use this partly as a primary writing device, is there's no file system on the device in the writing sections. I think that's really important and something Kobo will need to address. Now, this is a reading first device, and importantly, you can write notes on PDFs, although it's slightly slower to do that than it is just writing in the basic notes app, but it is quite usable. The other thing it allows you to do is if you buy books directly from Kobo, it allows you to write on those also. So from my perspective at the moment, the software is okay. You know, I'd always say the old adage, don't buy a product in terms of future expectations of what it might become. This product, in terms of its writing, has great potential. I enjoy writing on it. However, today I describe its writing as adequate. It's absolutely fine if you're going to be reading 80% of the time on it and want somewhere to jot down notes. But if you're primarily looking for a writing device, the software from my perspective just isn't there at the moment. The reading experience on this Kobo Elipsa is absolutely fantastic. It's the best e-reader I've ever used, be that a product from Remarkable, be it from Amazon, be it from Onyx Books. I just really enjoy reading on this device. It's got a really nice, crisp, clear screen with a backlit display, and it allows you to just pick up a book. Kobo themselves have a really good, comprehensive bookstore. The PDF options look really good. In fact, actually, I'm not going to go through all the file different options that you can put on this, but EPUBs and loads of different options of file types. I'd say the biggest issue for me is when looking at a PDF, it takes a second or so to turn a page. But as long as you're not turning pages every few seconds, I don't find that to be too much of a problem. Another thing I really like about the reading experience on this device is something called Pocket integration. If you haven't come across it before, Pocket is a service that allows you to find articles on the web and either from your computer or from your phone or from your tablet, save them to this service, and then you can then read them from an inbuilt app on this device. And it feels like the closest thing to a personalised modern newspaper that I've come across. It's a real joy to use. So overall, I'd really simply say this is the best e-reader I've ever used, full stop. The 10.3 inch display on this device is really, really nice. I think one of the best ways to show you what the size is like is to use a Kindle Oasis. Now this is a 7-inch display, and you can see if I put them side by side, you get an awful lot more screen for your money there. Now it also has a backlight inbuilt to it, and everything looks crisp and clear. I'd say the worst thing about this screen is maybe one feature which it doesn't have, and that's that it doesn't allow you to move the blue light away, which a lot of other modern screens with backlights do allow you to do, which helps with nighttime reading. Now I know that will put some people off buying that device, but actually overall I have no complaints with regard to this screen at all. In terms of build and quality, I really like this device. It's really light, about 380 grams, and it's not metal, it's just plastic, and it feels like plastic, but at the same time it's really nice to touch on the back, and I think the lightness makes up for the material quality, and it doesn't feel like it's going to break at all. In terms of the case, you've got a case here that you place it into, so I'll put it in here now, and it does add a decent amount of bulk to it, and it's not that easy to take it out once it's in. It also comes with a magnetic sleep cover, so you just close that over like that. And one final thing that this comes with is the option to put your pen in here. So overall, when it's like this feels nice to the hand. It all feels like a real quality device. The one issue I've got in terms of build quality is this pen, which I've mentioned before. It's just a bit rattly. I'd like it to be a bit of a better quality pen. One thing with regard to the build and the design that I realised only by accident, it's a really useful feature, is that this sleep cover just magnetically deattaches. So it's a really useful, you can see it just goes back on, way to attach that. And although the case itself adds some bulk, being able to move that on and off with ease is really, really useful. So overall, you can see that the ports there, you've got a small attachment there to let you charge in USB-C. I'm really impressed with the build, and I think it's a quality bit of kit. Overall, I think the software on the Kobo Elipsa is really good. You can see that Kobo have been making devices and tuning their software for years and years. Now, I've covered the software in terms of reading, in terms of writing, earlier on this review, but some of the things that I haven't covered are the fact that this device is useful because it offers a bit more than a normal writing device. So in the beta features, it has a web browser. Now this is not the sort of thing you can play videos on. It's a really simple browser, but if you need to search Google in a pinch, it's just there, really simple, really easy to use. It also has a couple of games, nothing that you're going to get too far into, but it has Sudoku, it has Solitaire, and if you'd like to spend a little bit of time keeping your mind ticking over, but you just need a rest from whatever you're doing, it does have those features inbuilt. The final thing, software-wise, that I think a lot of its competitors don't do as well as this, is the Dropbox integration. It makes it really easy to transfer files to and from this device, and it gives this device the potential to be a really useful work powerhouse and connect to your other devices and transfer over PDF or other documents to allow you to work on them and read them on this device. The other thing that won't affect everyone, but it does seem to have some accessibility features that other devices don't have. I'm thinking particularly in relation to be able to change the size of the text up to the size that's quite big. And if you're looking at a 10.3 inch e-ink device, part of the reason for that might be you want the option to be able to see bigger text, and having that option inbuilt and easy to access is really good. Overall, with regard to the software, I'd say I think it's a really nice mix of keeping things simple, making everything intuitive, but giving you just that bit more power and options than just being a simple reading and writing device. I really like what Kobo are doing here, and they hope they continue to refine this experience. The Kobo Elipsa has 32 gigabytes of storage. In practice, that means it can store thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of books and articles. Loads of written notes. Storage, although it's not expandable, should not be a concern on this device. I'm really impressed. It also, in terms of connectivity, has USB-C to allow you to connect to a computer, connect to a Mac. It allows you to charge that way and transfer files that way. So that's a really something you want in 2021 in these devices. It also has Wi-Fi inbuilt, again, to allow you to transfer things and keep everything in sync electronically. The one interesting thing in terms of connectivity on this device is it has Bluetooth inbuilt, but at the moment that Bluetooth doesn't do anything. Maybe in the future it will allow you to connect to audiobooks and listen to remote things via maybe a pair of headphones, but at the moment that feature's built in but doesn't do anything. This is absolutely fine in terms of connectivity and in terms of storage. In my opinion, this is the best 10.3 inch e-reader on the market. In fact, it's just the best e-reader on the market as long as the size works for you. So if you're looking for a big e-reader that offers a quality reading experience and also gives you the ability to take notes, then I think this should definitely be on the list of devices you're considering. However, if you're primarily looking for a powerhouse note-taking device, then this isn't the device at the moment that I would recommend. It's a bit unfortunate because I don't think it's because of hardware limitations. I think it's Kobo needing to dial in on their software and get that right, which is up to Kobo how quickly they can get that right. It might take them months, it might take them years, and I'd be really interested to see what Kobo does with that device in the relation to the note-taking experience. However, overall, a great e-reader, a competent note-taker, and a device that I really enjoy using. With that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll leave around me now a link to a writing comparison I've done recently with the Kobo Elipsa and some of its competitor devices. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments, and if you'd like this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to join me on the journey. Until next time, I've been Alex. Thanks for watching.